Hello everyone, welcome to the 60 Literary and Jury Charge. I'm going to start off today with an article, and this is called How to Be a Leader. Okay, here we go. Most effective leaders are made, not born. Here are the skills you can develop to motivate others. Being considered a leader in our society is the ultimate compliment. Leadership has become the universal vitamin C pill, says psychologist David Campbell of the Center for Leadership in Colorado. People seem to want mega doses. No wonder. Leadership bestows power, commands respect, and most important, fosters achievement. Unlike vitamins, leadership skills can't be easily gulped down. They must be carefully cultivated. Contrary to popular belief, most good leaders are made, not born. They hone their skills in their everyday lives. But which do they cultivate? How do they get others to follow? Always give credit. Many leaders note that the most effective way to get a good performance is to treat others like heroes. Giving public credit to someone who has earned it is the best leadership technique in the world. It is also an act of generosity that's never forgotten. Given credit is more effective than even the most constructive criticism, which often hurts rather than helps. Kenneth Blanchard, co-author of The 1 Minute Manager, agrees. Catch people doing something right, he says, then tell everyone about it. The loyalty you will generate is arguably the most important currency a leader has. Take informed risks. The best leaders know that taking a risk is not a thoughtless exercise, says consultant Marilyn Mock. Skydivers don't go up in an airplane without checking the parachute beforehand, because the idea of risk also carries with it the possibility of failure. Many of us tend to wait for others to take charge. But if you want to be a leader, you must learn to fail and not die 1,000 deaths. Pick yourself up and start all over again. Show the way. In 2005, Lee Duncan was a Philadelphia homemaker with a child who had just been found to have diabetes. Duncan decided to reach out to other mothers of diabetic kids, but at first, no one wanted to talk. Finally, Duncan managed to find 3 other mothers willing to share their experience. And from that beginning, she went on to lead a juvenile diabetes program, which currently has 150 chapters worldwide. Duncan also formed and now heads the National Disease Research, which procures human tissue for vital research. Her secret? Being a role model. Have you ever noticed that if you smile at people, they smile back? She asks. Well, if you're giving, people want to give right back. If you're sure-footed, they want to follow in your footsteps. If you're confident about reaching a goal, others echo that confidence and try to achieve it for you. The best thing you can do is to get followers to mirror your actions by being what you wish them to be. Keep the faith. Successful leaders often say that if you trust others to do well, they will. If, on the other hand, you believe your people will fail, they will probably meet your expectations as well. Businessman W.C. Clement Stone suggests that you express your faith in a letter. He says the president who writes of faith in and commitment to his salespeople can motivate them to break records. The teacher who writes notes of encouragement to students can lead them to extraordinary heights. Having faith in someone gives him self-confidence and pleasure. It may sound corny, but the experts agree it works. There's more to this article, but I'm going to stop there and I will finish it up in the next literary class. Okay, I've got some legal terms and then I will read the paragraph. Okay, you're going to hear felony, punishable, imprisonment, accessory, custody, which the brief for that is KUD, abets, solicits, perpetrator, imposition, facilitates, misdemeanor, I write that as MIFD, fingerprinted, that is initial F, final P for fingerprint. So obviously you come back for the D, or you can strike it all in one stroke. Warrant, interrogated, photograph, which is F long OF, phof. Okay, here is your paragraph. Ready? Crimes may be classified as felonies or misdemeanors. A felony is a crime which may be punishable by death or imprisonment. Misdemeanors include all other crimes and are punishable by a short jail sentence and the imposition of a fine. A principal is considered an active perpetrator of the crime. An accessory is a person who aids, abets, solicits, or facilitates the crime. When a person is charged with the actual commission of a crime, a warrant may be issued ordering the arrest of that individual. Once arrested, the accused is taken into custody and fingerprinted, photographed, and interrogated. Okay, I'm going to continue on with plaintiff's closing arguments. Okay, we're going to start off with it saying ladies and gentlemen, which is L long AJ, lage. And again, I never expect you to remember these briefs right offhand, but I just would like you to write those down and then in your own time go back and practice them. Okay? And then if you find that you just don't like it or you just can't remember it, then you can cross it off and just write it out. So if you really spend time with a handful of briefs and you just can't remember some of them, cross them off your list and write them out, okay? Some will stick and some won't, so you don't want to hesitate. If you hesitate, then it's not worth the brief, okay? All right, here we go. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, there is not one iota of evidence that Mr. Meso had pain in that shoulder or in the neck before the injury in this case. So we suggest, in accordance with my comments a little earlier about what to do when there is a contradiction, we suggest that when a physician renders an opinion but gives no basis in fact for that opinion, and furthermore, where there is no basis in the record for that opinion, that opinion does not deserve recognition. Dr. Connor, in this regard, again, he was called as an expert at the last moment. The plaintiff was claiming an injury to the cervical spine. In the cervical spine. Let's face it, what is bothering this gentleman are not X-ray findings. Yes, there were X-ray findings on the shoulder. He got along very well with that arm through the years. It is the pain that has resulted from the injury of this case. It is the pain that keeps him up at night, that causes him to go into traction, that limits him in his physical activities at home and on the job. Pain in the neck, radiating outward, numbness in the hand. So when this gentleman is sent to an expert for the purpose of giving an opinion and analysis of what extent he was injured in that accident, then, and what extent of claims of the neck injury and neck pain, these are valid naturally, and you would expect a physician to give an opinion about his neck pain. Dr. Connor testified that he was not giving any opinion about Mr. Meso's neck pain. He did not have an opinion. The test that Dr. Connor took is entirely consistent. That was an objective test that was done by way of needles. And I am not going to go through the manner that the test was done. We all heard comments about it a few times in this trial, but the point is that Mr. Meso not only demonstrated atrophy of the shoulder girdle muscles on a visual inspection, but in addition, the test that Dr. Connor took was positive. Okay, again, there's a little bit more here, but I'm going to stop there and we'll finish that up in the next class. Okay, we've got a few more minutes. I'm going to read an article here on taxation. Okay, and again, this is a little challenging, but it's okay. It's good practice. Here we go. Saving on taxes involves the detailed task of record keeping. An important element of complete tax planning is to establish a good record keeping system. Your detailed records will help you to compute your income and deductions at the end of the year and to plan for the future with receipts accumulating during the year, there is a tendency to overlook certain items. You must have a record to present to the IRS if your return is audited. The establishment of a comprehensive record-keeping system will ensure completeness and accuracy, and will also eliminate many problems at tax time. After you have collected your monthly checking account statements, segregate all the tax-related receipts, keeping 1 year separate from others. If your occupation involves travel, meals, or entertainment of clients, you should keep a daily log in your computer or journal of these expenses. If you own your home or have other investments, such as stocks and bonds, plan your investments in order to minimize gains at tax time. If you use your home as your office, you may take deductions for business-related expenses. The retention of past tax returns is important in the event you are audited. Previous tax returns may be necessary if you plan to income average. All interest statements should be retained in case you are audited. Tax records should be kept for a minimum of 3 years. The IRS may go back as far as 3 years to question a return. And while we're on that subject, when you become a court reporter, it will be very important to keep great statements for all of your accounts. And I never throw away any of my previous jobs. I know after 10 years they say you can get rid of them, but I always hold on to them because you never know. So all right, well, that concludes our jury charge and literary for the 60 class. Have a wonderful day.